Hi, thank you for joining me. Today we are going to go over some words with the letter D, starting with the letter D. And the first one is daily. So you'll take your right hand, put it in the letter A, but you're going to rub it across the side of your face. Daily. And the next one is damage or destroy. And the same thing, you'll take both your hands in the letter A, but you'll churn it and rub it across like you're destroying something. You're damaging, destroying. And then dance. Your left hand flat, and your two fingers would be your feet, and you're dancing. And then dark, you would just cross your hands over your face. It's dark, like it's getting dark. And then daughter, you take your thumb, you rub it across the side of your face, and then your pointer finger and your thumb will be like in an L, and you put it like this. So it's swipe, and then like that. Daughter. And then son is like boy, and then like that as well. Then day, you take your D, and you go slowly, like the whole day. And then deaf, like a deaf person. You point at your mouth and then at your ear or your chin, deaf. And then debate, your fingers like this and then back and forth, debate. And then decorate, your hands will be like this, but more like up in the air and in circles. Decorate. And to decrease, your left hand would be like this and down, because you're going, it's less. You decrease. Then deep, your left hand up, and then your pointer finger, and then down. All right. As I was saying, dent, like a dent in the car, or wherever there may be a dent, you have your hands like this, and they come together and in, like a dent. 1 minute. All right, there we go. In dentist, you make a D, and then you put it, you don't have to touch your teeth if you don't want, but put it up to your teeth. Dentist. And then deodorant, you also make a D, and then you hold your arm up, and you put it around where you would put deodorant on. Then department is also the letter D, but you start here, and you go around. Department. And depend, like you depend on someone or depend on the Lord. You take your 2 pointer fingers and you just go down a little bit. Depend. Like you depend on the Lord. All right, and when something depreciates, it's cost. Then you take your thumbs and then you go down. That's depreciating, but it's the cost depreciate. Like a car, for instance, you get a new car and it depreciates, or anything else that will depreciate. And depressed is the letter D, and you start up here and down. You're depressed. And to descend, like from up high, you're descending. It's just your pointer finger and down. Praise or hope in the Lord that this doesn't happen, but like an airplane is up here and it descends, it goes down. Or a hot air balloon. And I just mean it goes down. I don't mean it crashing. I just mean it going down the hot air balloon. It descends. Or if you're jumping out of an airplane, you're descending. Just trying to give some examples that I can think of. And to describe something, or it would be your your pinky finger in like your drawing. Or design, not describe, I said the wrong, design. You're designing something in your drawing. And to be desperate, which this comes up, you're really wanting something, you're desperate, stuff like that. You have your hand flat here, and then you go down. Your hand goes into a fist as you go down. You're desperate. So you're calling on the Lord because you're desperate. You're praying desperately. And then detective is the letter D, and excuse me, my nose is just on your shoulder and around a little, the letter D. Because detectives, they wear a badge as well. All right, and detour, like when you're driving and you got to take a detour type of thing, it's your hand here and your left hand flat, and you have to go around. You're going around, you're detouring. And then devil is your thumb and your 2 fingers up at your forehead, and you shake your 2 fingers, devil. Then diamond, you make a round shape, because it would be a small shape, and you have your left hand up, and your marriage finger, you put it on your hand like that, diamond. And then dictionary, you have your left hand up and you make a D, but then with your fingers, like you're going through the dictionary. And then to die, you have your right hand up, facing up, left hand down, and then you just change them as you go over. You die. And for diet, that one is finger spelled, so it's D-I-E-T, which is your thumb goes in between your two fingers. And difficult, as in something hard, you'll make a bent H with your two hands, and with your right hand you'll just kind of hit your other. It's hard to do. It's a hard time, a hard place, stuff like that. And to dig is like what you would think, like you're digging. And for dignity, there's actually two ways you can do this. There's, you take your left hand here, like up towards your chest. It's in, and then with your thumb, pride, inner pride. Or there's in, and then with the two R's to your chest, inner respect. So there's two ways to that. And dim, like dim the lights, or with it getting, if it's dark outside and it gets dim, your hands will be up and then you'll go down. It's dim. And then for dime, you just make the shape of a coin. And dimple, you just point to your, you might want to smile too, and point to your cheeks, because when someone smiles, maybe not everybody, but the people who do have dimples, when they smile, it shows. So you just point to your cheeks. And dining room is eat, and then with the R shape, room, eat, dining room. Well, you don't eat the dining room, but and then dinner is eat and night. Dinner. In diploma, you make the round shape, because like a diploma, when you get it, it's rolled up and round, but then it's long. Diploma. And then direct, like you're being direct with someone, truthful, direct, stuff like that. It's, you make like a B with your hand, and then from the tip of your nose out, you're being direct. In dirty, talking about something dirty, or your clothes are dirty, stuff like that. Your right hand flat and under your chin, and you shake your fingers, dirty. And disability, any kind of disability, your finger spelled, but it's just D and then A. for disability. You basically abbreviate it. And to disagree, like let's say you're talking with someone and you're just not kind of butting heads, let's say, it's the mind and then apart, because you're not coming together, you're disagreeing. So in the mind and then apart. And when you're disappointed of whatever it may be, whether it's someone or a situation, you just point to the chin and down. You kind of twist the finger because you're disappointed. And to disconnect, rather you're disconnecting something or you're disconnecting from someone, either way, it's to let go. This can also mean, you're connecting with God or connecting with each other, or an agreement, like everyone's in agreement. But when you're not, it's just let go and disconnect. And then disgusted, your hands will be like this, and down at your stomach, and then churning, and then your face just like, oh, disgusted. And then dish, it's just your round, you make a round shape for dish. And then disc, like a CD disc, stuff like that. You make the D, and then your left hand flat, and then you do little round shapes in your hand for a disc. And then to dismiss, it's just right across, your left hand flat, and dismiss. And to disobey, it's not, and then, not in agreement. And then to dissolve, you just kind of shake your fingers together and go down, because it's dissolving. In a district, like an area, your left hand's flat, and then you just over the top, a district. And dive, like you dive in a pool, is like what you would probably think. Your hands together, and then for, like you would do diving into a pool, you dive in. And divorce is the letter D, is together and then apart. Divorce. And then dizzy, like if you're saying you're dizzy or something, your hands are like this, and then in circles around your head. You're saying like your head's dizzy. And then do, like you're going to do something. It's just your pointer finger and your thumb, and it's do. You bring them together like this. Do. And then doctor, your left hand up, and your D. And then at the wrist, you kind of tap doctor. And the same with nurse, although we're on D's, it just crossed my mind. You do the N and then tap the rest, nurse. Let's see. And then dog, which I think we went over before, but I'll do it again. You snap and then hit your leg. Dog. And then doll, like a baby doll, and that is finger spells, so it's D-O-L-L. And then dollar, like a dollar bill. You have your left hand this way, and then you slide your right hand across, dollar. So it'd be $1, $2, and so on. Then donkey, you have your hand like this, the thumb to the forehead, and then you shake your 4 fingers, donkey. And if you're saying don't, like telling somebody don't do that, don't anything, you cross at your wrist and then come down, don't. But if you're saying you don't know, you don't have to do don't and then no. It's just you point to your forehead and out. Don't know. Then don't like. You take your 2 fingers and you throw it out. You come out here and then throw it. Don't like. And then to say you don't want, because this is want, but then you do that and then down, don't want. Then door, you have your 2 hands together and open or shut. The door open and then shut. And then down, like you would think, it's just pointing down. And to drag, like let's say you're dragging something or someone, and it's just like a pulling motion. You're dragging. And to say to draw blood, your fingers like this, like you're doing a 3, but these 2 fingers are together, and your left arm out and pointed to where they would draw blood and back, because it's drawing. And for drawer or dresser, stuff like that, you just do a short, like you're pulling out the drawer, short like that. Because a real big like this is saying want. So you just, like your hands together, pulling out the drawer. And to dream or daydream, you point to your mind or your forehead and then wiggle the finger out, like in dreaming, daydreaming, stuff like that. And to a drink, say you're going to drink, it's just like you would think. You're doing the cup motion. And a drip, like let's say the faucet's dripping, you have your left hand flat, and then you do downward motions slowly, like something's dripping. Then drive, a car. This also means car, but it's drive as well. And to say to drive to wherever, it's the driving motion, but forward. You're going to drive to the store, stuff like that. And to drool or crave, it also means to crave. You point to your mouth and then down to where your shirt is. You're drooling or craving whatever food. And for drop, like when you say you drop something, you have your O at first up top, and then you let go. You dropped. And then drown, you have your hand flat here, and your pointer finger. You just, it's a down. Or even a wiggle motion. You're going down. And then drum, like a set of drums. It's just like you probably think, like you're banging on the drums. And dry, you take your pointer finger, and across your chin area is like that, dry. And then duck is also like bird. The lips moving. And for dumb or stupid, you hold your hand like an A, and then hit the front of the, or not hit hard, but tap the front of the forehead. Dumb. Like I made a dumb move. And for during or meanwhile, stuff like that, while it's going on, it's your pointer fingers and then a motion forward. During, meanwhile, and to dye or color, like dye a shirt, to color it, stuff like that. It's your fingertips like this, and then drip, like you're dyeing the shirt or whatever. You're dipping it in. And that's all I have today. Thank you.